about to talk to Alan in California.
All right,
Alan,
let's do it.
You are on the air.
Yes, I've been on the air. It's nice to speak to you. Nice to meet you, Christy and Cindy. Very intriguing conversation. And ever since I finally deconverted and became an atheist, I've realized just how ludicrous the sexual repression is, because I recently discovered that I think I may be bi.
Awesome.
I look at most men, I'm not really attracted to him, but there's this one YouTuber who I won't name, and I found him very attractive. And right now I'm actually speaking to a trans woman who I very much like talking to, and I think she's very beautiful. I'm sorry if that's inappropriate to say. If I say anything that's not PC, just let me know. So this is all very new to me. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Thanks. It's just, and the thing that bothers me, and I even felt this way when I was still a Christian, was just how Christianity and other religions seems to have this anti-sex rhetoric, and it affects everyone, trans, bisexual people, gays and lesbians, but it also affects heterosexual people as well, because all these religions have like an anti-sex appeal. I mean, we got figureheads like Jordan Peterson who frown at people who are promiscuous, as they say, and they want people to go back to tradition, and it's lack of religion why you're sad. You're sad because you're not in a traditional relationship. How do you know that? I mean, tradition may work for one person and it may not work for another. So it just blows my mind how in this country, I don't know what it's like in Europe, Cindy, but in this country, there's just this anti-sex attitude, even though a lot of us are becoming secular. Like, there's this one guy I know, he's very, very far right. He's an atheist, but he is like an advocate for the Catholic Church because it gives hope to people. And he has like an anti-sex attitude saying, people shouldn't be degenerate. People should stick to tradition. I'm like, dude, you are constantly looking for women to get with, but when a woman wants to experiment sexually, it's bad. I just can't stand the hypocrisy.
Yeah, it's a lot easier if everybody else is playing with a hand tied behind their back. Like I definitely see that, and the ideas that you're bringing up, I mean, it's why this show is here. We just had the opportunity to talk to Dr. Ray, and he walked me through and has kind of talked on air in the past before about the process of bringing this show to life, how it came out of his book, The God Virus, and really what he was seeing as he had a better understanding of the way that religion impacts our sexuality and how it targets our sexuality specifically and for a reason, because it is such a strong mechanism of control. There's it's similar to the way that religion oftentimes grapples onto our food and the specific things that we eat. Because if you can manipulate and control and insert yourself between a human being and the sustenance that they literally need to survive, then you've got that person in your pocket. You've got control over them. And if you can insert yourself into somebody's sex life, God knows you've got power over them now. And so these ideas are important, not just to breaking the world free of the pain of purity culture. Atheism isn't just here to protect people from all of the damage that is done by religion in the sexual sense. But we do this show and we're having these conversations because by understanding how religion has impacted our sexuality, I think it reveals a lot more about what religion actually is and gives us a little bit more leverage over removing it from our lives and from public discourse.
Yeah, it's unfortunate how it bleeds even into people who aren't even that religious. Like, I've met Christians who, they're not really all that super Christian. I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying they don't follow it to a T. They still go out and drink. They still, party and all that, look at porn. But when it comes to someone being gay, oh no. Or if the woman's trans, oh no, that's a sin. I'm like, the Bible also says not to get drunk, and here you are getting hammered every weekend with your Chad friends. Give me a break.
Yeah.
And it's sad to see that culture bleed into, like I said earlier, non-religious people. The guy I know, he said, because I asked him, why should gay marriage be illegal? He goes, because of our traditional values. I'm like, what values?
Yeah,
Oh,
where did those come from? Whose
left.
tradition? How far back are we going? Who, like, yeah. It's basically eventually turns into, like so many of the topics we've been talking tonight, what makes the people in power most comfortable, and what provides the most access to them. And so, yeah, it's definitely a important piece of work that we're all here to do. So I appreciate you kind of taking up arms with us, so to speak, and joining in the mission, and for giving us a call tonight.
Yeah. One last thing, I'll make this quick. One thing I noticed growing up, because of these social constructs based on religion, growing up being a kid who wasn't really into sports but preferred classical music and Lord of the Rings, I was called derogatory terms, saying effeminate, and I just find that really ridiculous. So that's all. And thank you, V. I also have to thank Jamie, Eric, Jenna, and Matt for playing the part of me deconverting. And
that's awesome. Thanks so much for calling in, Alan. We appreciate you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Anybody who has a problem with anyone reading Lord of the Rings, just tell them to come talk to me. I'll cuss them in Elvish.
Yeah, I don't know that that'll be as effective of a defense mechanism as you think it will be, V, but that doesn't mean it wouldn't be deeply satisfying for me to watch. So, if you want to make this arrangement.
I was forced to play football as a nerd, and it was not formal in any way. And the person who was arranging everything was like, V, distract people while this other person grabs the ball. And I just started yelling in Elvish, and everyone stopped and looked at me. So it helped in that moment. I've had success with this so far.
That is a story that I deeply, deeply hope is both true and captured on videotape.
One of those is true.
Damn.